Hello everybody and welcome back once again to the Final Fantasy X walkthrough.
Where am I? I forgive you this time. Be good for a while, okay?
Alright, so Sin has dumped us off here on Beaconell Island.
Ew.
And Titus starts out alone here, but he will not be alone for long. I vaguely remember this fight going much differently the first time I played the game. One of the things that I actually want to point out that I did, and I don't know if I had actually mentioned this in any of the other videos, but I actually skipped over Titus's delay attack.
Need some help.
And there Orange shows up. I think Orange shows up when you hit critical status, I think anyway. I almost wonder if Titus would have stayed healthy enough if he wouldn't have shown up until the end of the battle instead. Anyways, I skipped over delay attack, and the reason being was I fully expected at the end of the game to just be spamming quick hit over and over, which is basically the skill that Titus gets at the very, very end of his path. And like I said, I expected to be spamming that at the end of the game, and I didn't want to. Oh, in here, Lulu shows up at the very end.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, so so my thought process was to try to avoid skills in those menus.
The others?
Haven't found them yet. We're supposed to stay in one place if we get split up.
Wait here if you want. He's not.
So again, you know, the thought was that if I didn't take any more abilities, then I would, you know, have less menus to go through, and you know, I wouldn't spend as much time.
You alone?
Mm-hmm. Where's Yuna? Damn it! First I lose Yuna, then I'm ambushed by Machina. Great day I'm having.
So the flaw, the flaw in that whole plan was the fact that in the configuration menu, there's an option to basically turn on your cursor memory. And maybe that's a bad term to describe it, but basically what it does is it remembers your choices in combat, so you don't have to keep, you know, selecting or scrolling through menus if you're trying to just hit the same abilities over and over. So I fully recommend turning that on as soon as you can.
It's not your fault, Kamari.
So, you know, like I said, so turn that on as soon as you can and just kind of get used to fighting that way. Again, I mean, in all honesty, in a lot of these battles, you're literally going to be performing the same actions over and over. For the boss fights and stuff, sure, yeah, you know, things will be a little different for those typically. It's, you know, not as likely that you'll be performing the exact same things. You'll be more likely reacting to, you know, damage taken, or, you know, using different abilities like armor break and whatnot. But, you know, for a lot of the fights like we're doing right here, that's just not the case. You're going to be either just spamming the attack command over and over, or, you know, using dark attack often. So again, I would suggest turning that option on in the configure menu and just kind of getting used to, you know, how it feels. Unfortunately, actually, I should have recommended that at the beginning of the game, because I feel like, you know, with a lot of this stuff, it's easier to train yourself at the beginning as opposed to, you know, essentially go halfway through the game now and then be like, oh well, let's try something else, you know. But that being said, I think that that it helps. It's definitely been a great find for me, and it's funny that it's taken me this long to really get used to playing like that, but it really is great. I really like it. So anyways, so you will not see me using delay attack. Boy, that was a wordy explanation, huh? But anyways, I won't have that attack, and I don't have that attack for essentially the entire game. I am just now. I've basically got to the very end of the game right now, and I'm kind of just working on buffing up my sphere grid. So, you know, again, I didn't even buy it until the very end. So yeah. So that's how I went about it, I guess.
Oh, hey guys, where's Uni?
Gone.
Gone. Some guardian I am.
There's something I want to tell you, but promise not to say anything. No glaring either. I know where we are. We're on Bikanel Island. There's a place us Al-Bed call home near here. Uni's there, I'm sure of it. Other Al-Bed must have come and rescued her.
Rescued? You mean kidnapped?
What does it matter as long as she's safe?
That's right. Anyway, I will take you there if you promise that you won't tell anyone about it. Especially not Yevonites, okay? You know they don't like us Al-Bed. Who knows what they'll do if they knew?
Give me a break. What are you accusing Yevon of this time?
Yevon did something really bad to us before.
Well, you Al-Bed must have deserved it.
Ugh. Can't you guys talk about this later?
Just promise you won't tell anyone about this island. Promise?
Waka, come on!
All right, I promise. Lead the way.
You got it.
Alright, anyways, let's get on our way. So what have we got here? A couple of treasure chests, nothing fancy.
Let me handle the Machina. I can take them apart piece by piece.
Alright, so this is essentially Riku's second steel tutorial. And it is pretty nice. So basically just use the steel command on the Machina, and it one-shots him. It actually works for every single Machina in the game from here on out too, so it's something good to know. And then on top of that, the fact that it's not just Riku that can do that. Obviously, here you go. There's Kamari can do it too. Like I said, it's just the steel command, so it's not character specific. But anyways, one of the cool things too about this area is it's not just Riku, but with the use command you can use the Al-Bed potions that you get here, and it's a really good way to heal up your characters while Yuna's gone. Obviously, you know, unless you went down Yuna's path with like Kimari, you're probably not going to have a decent healer right now. So you know, again, that use command with the Al-Bed potions is a really great way to keep your characters healthy here. And on top of that, it restores. I think it cures poison. I know for sure. I don't know about anything else. Let's see about blindness. Nope, looks like Orin's still blind. Let's see here what my menu says on the Al-Bed potion. Alright, cures poison, silence, petrification, and gives 1,000 health to all. So there you go. Those are just fantastic items, and we're getting them like crazy here too. I think I just got, what was that, 6 from that fight, and I actually don't know what dropped that. May have been the mech warriors, I think, or mech soldiers. What are these things called? I think these guys all drop them. Let's find out.
Leave it to me.
I believe Mug will tear him apart too. Because that's basically an attack plus the steel command. No, okay, so I got high potions there. So I'm not sure what gave me the Abed potions there earlier. It's highly unlikely that you'll have the bribed skill yet, but I know these birds can be bribed for something later. I want to say Mega Phoenix, I think. And Mega Phoenix is awesome. It's a great. They not only, I guess, I mean, they're great in battle. I don't know that I've ever actually used them, but they will revive all of, or 2 dead characters, I should say. It's you're not ever gonna have it able to revive all 3, because if you have all 3 of your characters dead, well, it's a game over. So, anyways, they can synthesize or customize, sorry, the Auto Phoenix ability, which, if one of your characters dies in combat, it will automatically use a Phoenix down to resurrect them, which is fantastic later on in the game. I mean, it's oh, I shouldn't say that. It's always good. It's just it comes into play much more frequently later on in the game. And the reason why it's so good is because then you don't have to actually use a turn of your characters to to actually use that Phoenix down. It just happens automatically. So it can really help out with kind of like turn efficiency, I guess. But anyways, let's see here. What else do we have? There's one more enemy that I don't think we've seen yet, and that's the gigantic worm. I do know we'll eventually run into one here, but unfortunately, they have a ton of health. That's the only. I would say that they're the most difficult enemy here, and not even really because they hit hard or anything like that. Just because of the sheer amount of health that they have and the time it takes to take them down. A couple X potions, not bad. That being said, though, those the worms are, if I remember right, they offer quite a bit of SP.
No problem.
It's tough for me to say whether or not it's worth killing them, because I do. Unfortunately, the crummy thing about them is you can't use the break ball on them because they are immune to
time to waste. Let's go.
I'm not sure if they're immune to death or not, although I don't suppose it probably matters much, because the probability of you having an instant death weapon right now is probably not very good. This treasure chest up here, later on in the game, there will be another mini game that we can take part in here. And actually, I don't know when you can start it, but like so quite a bit later, we'll be able to come back here, and there is a mini game. And I guess it's just kind of important to remember where this treasure chest is here, because it will play a part in said mini game. I've got footage now of all of that, so I guess maybe it's not that important to remember it all. I suppose as long as you stay tuned, we'll be taking that on. And here is a Cactuar. Obviously, these guys are handled essentially the same way as they are on the Thunder Plains. They are extremely hard to hit, though, just like they are on Thunder Plains. They do have this. What is this? The Chocobo feathers, and I think that's the same steel as the ones even in the Thunder Plains, but. The good thing about that item is that if you use it on yourself, it'll cast haste, and using if you don't go through the item command, you actually have to use the use command, though, I believe it is. And again, that's actually going to be quite a bit useful for later on. I'll have to do or we'll have to fight a battle with Kimari alone. And it's really helpful to have those items in your inventory for that. So don't use them all. Don't use them all up. Wow. I actually could have put on a few really good abilities right now. Namely, well, evade and counter is actually pretty good too. But I think what did I see? I saw auto potion there, and I think maybe even an auto phoenix. That would actually have been pretty crazy at this point in the game. But anyways, I didn't. I believe I mentioned that in, I don't know if it was the previous video or the video before that, but I pretty much hoarded everything until the very end of the game. And again, you know, I'm not really sure if that was the most wise decision. Wow. You know, there's something to be said. I guess when it comes down to it, generally what I like to do is I like to wait till the end, and then I like to do all my customization at once. Just because you have better options for the equipment. And what I mean by that is, towards the end of the game is when you're going to be able to get a lot of armor with 4 slots in it. So, and that's the problem with the gear that you can obtain right now, is typically they're only going to have 1 or 2 slots. And so, you know, customizing with any of that stuff right now just seems like kind of a waste to me. Just because, you know, it's essentially just not going to be the best. But that also being said, you know, you can also argue the point that some of those abilities right now are really powerful, and you know, you could actually make your characters very, very powerful right now, and benefit then for the you know, for the rest of the game. So that's a very valuable argument though too. Here are the zoos. Obviously, I handle these just like the big bird, like the Garudas, I believe they are, towards the beginning of the game. But anyways, I handle them essentially the same way. I don't think that Dark Attack will actually work. I think you actually have to use Dark Buster. I mean, maybe I was just unlucky. I'm not real sure, but
I've been saving this one
Dark Attack didn't seem to be landing like Dark Buster did. And unfortunately, the problem with Dark Buster is it only lasts 1 turn, so you have to keep using it over and over. But again, you know, like I said earlier, if you turned on the you know, the cursor memory, that becomes much less of an issue, because it, you know, will just select, or it'll go into that menu and select Dark Buster for you again, and you won't have to scroll through your options. So, you know, again, I feel like that's another really good reason to turn that on. All right, so the sign back there said "This way to home." That is the name of, well, the Elbed's home, or they're kind of like their base of operations. And so the Beacon Desert here, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. I'm pretty horrible at Final Fantasy pronunciations. Anyways, the Beacon Desert here, there's really only, what is this? I think there's 4 main areas. You've got the Oasis, I believe it's called, and that's where you start out. And then I think there's central, and then east, west, actually, and then there's probably a north. So what does that end up actually being? 5 areas, and then plus, I guess if you consider the final area, home would be 1 more. So in all honesty, this place it can be daunting, especially the first time you come here, because there actually is a lot of ground to cover. But you know, if you're following the guide, you'll know exactly where the chests are at, and you can really, I guess, cut down on your travel time. I know the very first time I was here, I spent a ton of time. There was a ton of time spent just running around looking for stuff, you know, essentially scouring the desert for treasures. And like I said, you know, it ended up taking me quite a long time to get through here, which isn't always a bad thing though either. It provides a really good opportunity to level up. So I didn't remember, but apparently there's random chests here in these battles as well. I'm not sure what I got out of these, but typically those, you know, you're always going to want to steal from those chests. I vaguely remember getting a X potion from one, was that, I believe? And obviously those are pretty powerful items. I mean, I guess I would recommend saving them for later on in the game when you actually have more health. You know, they are going to restore all of your health. Although maybe that's not entirely accurate though either. They will restore up to 9,999 health. Eventually, our characters actually will be able to break that health limit, and you know, with some I don't know if I'd say expensive or you know, difficult to obtain customized abilities. But we will be able to get over that. But unfortunately, the X potion is still only going to be able to restore that 9,999. Which I know there's some questions on whether or not it's really even worth it to synthesize that. Sorry, customize. I keep saying synthesize. I don't know. But anyways, that's why there's some argument, I believe, on whether or not it's a good idea to put that on your armor or not, or if it's, you know, better to just stay at 9,999. And anyways, I guess that's a discussion for another time. We've got a worm to contend with. These things, like I said earlier, they just have a ton of health. It looks like I was able to blind it though, and that's gonna be pretty important. These, if I remember right, they do hit fairly hard. So.
Where's the early bird when you need him?
But yeah, there you go. See, he is definitely immune to the stone touch, which makes sense. That would be pretty cheesy if you could just turn into the stone. I guess it would, you know, kind of defeat the point of having that much health. So one of the things that it does, obviously, is swallow people, which is kind of a pain in the butt because that just means for a couple of turns that you won't be able to act with that character. The other crappy thing about that is that if you kill this guy while he's got somebody swallowed, that character won't get SP for the battle. You know, it won't kill them by any means, but they just won't get the SP, and it's actually really crummy because they are worth quite a bit at this point in the game. Ooh. Old spiral cut. So here would have been another really great time to use either Waka's attack reels. By the way, I love that skill. I don't utilize it. Actually, I just don't utilize really anybody's overdrives like I should. But Waka's is one of the really good ones in the game. Especially those attack reels. And reason being is they hit multiple times. Much like Titus's Slice and Dice, as well as Titus's final Blitz Ace, which I finally just got actually about 5 minutes ago while I was doing the commentary for this. Oh, then I missed one. Is that a Mega Elixir in that chest, I think? And we get another one. Honestly, I wish I would have just started to run from these because they just take so much time, and we're not gonna get that much out of it. Oh, did I not haste myself before? I may not have. That's always a good idea, though, too. Keep yourself hasted up for these guys, just so that you're getting more turns and you'll take less. Now, you know, unfortunately, ooh, Shadow Gem's nice. With these guys, anyway, though, I still like to bring everybody in every once in a while, just because, like I said, they are worth so much AP, and to not, you know, take advantage of that, I don't think is that great of an idea. Oh, looks like he's... Oh, wow. Did I get a poison to land on him? Yes, I did. Wow. Okay, so... I completely forgot about that. That's actually really awesome. So, poison, as you can see, hit for 4,500. That's huge. And I'm... Boy, now, you know, I looked away for a second. So, I know at some point Riku got a weapon that's got poison touch on it. But I'm not sure if I did it with Riku or if it was actually with Lulu. Because Lulu will actually get the bio spell later on too, which obviously poisons. But yeah, that's a huge chunk of damage. Unfortunately, that only actually activates, you know, during his turn. But still, it's pretty awesome. That's actually one of the, I guess, one of the aspects about a lot of games is that I don't always remember to take you know, all of the different tactics, I suppose, in mind. A lot of times I'll forget little things like that, and they can make a huge difference, especially in this game. There's actually some really cool tactics out there, you know, for different bosses and whatnot, and actually one of them that I can think of right now actually uses poison as well later on, and that's that there's an underwater fight, you know, so you'll only have Titus, Riku, and Waka, and it'll be, you know, much later. It's probably I would almost say like post game. Maybe that's not a very accurate description, but late game, maybe I should say. It won't be until late game where any of those three can have access to the bio spell. But you know, with the use command from Riku, there's an item called the Poison Fang, which is a very common steal from a lot of different enemies. And I'm sure I've actually got a bunch of them, now that I think about it. But you know, you can use that item to poison. There's a boss that you fight, and you know, it's got a ton of health too, and it's just nice to be able to watch, you know, something so simple as that, you know, as essentially a common steal to do so much damage. And then I looked away again. So you know, I keep looking away whenever then I look back and I see that this guy's poisoned. So I'm curious what's actually doing it. If it's Riku or if it's Lulu. Anyways, I guess it's just important that it's on there. Everybody's a hero. Everybody's a hero in my book. Whether it's Lulu or Riku. And I think this one might be... This might be the time where it dies and it still had Auron trapped inside.
Too late to beg for mercy.
I know definitely one of these guys that I fought, I didn't, or somebody was swallowed up. Nope, not this one. Looks like it's gonna spit him right back out. It's so minor, the damage too, and it's like, really, what a waste of time. It's just a, you know, it's more one of those more annoying. I guess it's cool. It's a cool effect. I shouldn't really smack talk it too much. That and the fact that it kind of does remind me of Final Fantasy 3 or 6, however you want. I always have to. I feel like I always have to say both now because, you know, when I played Final Fantasy 3, it was Final Fantasy 3 for Super Nintendo. But now, it's Final Fantasy 6. So, anyways, which by the way, I've done I actually we're in the middle of, or no, maybe not middle anymore. It's probably more like in the last. I don't know. We probably only have a couple of videos left, but a friend of mine and I did a full walkthrough for that, and it was actually a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun doing dual commentary. Like I said, we probably have, I don't know, if I was to guess, it's probably something like 10 videos left. So we're right at the very end of the game. but it's been fun. That's a really good game. I would actually say still though to this day, I think 10 is my favorite in regards to the storyline. I think this is still my favorite. You know, there's now just so many good Final Fantasy games, but again, I think as far as the story goes, I think this one's the best. I really like the combat system in what is it, 13 and 13.2. And then it's funny because I completely hate 13.3. The storyline I thought was bad, and the combat system I actually hate, which is kind of funny because there's a lot of people that really like it. And I think you know it's whether or not you like the turn-based style, or you know if you like a little more active, reactive type of combat system. And for me, I really like the you know the ATB, and I feel like there's a little more strategy in it. You know, I wouldn't say that I'm bad or my reaction times are bad. They're not. I'm actually you know I've beat 13.3 a few times now. And I'll be completely honest, I was bad at it at the beginning, but you know I think it's one of those skills that's developed over time, you know, just like anything else once you learn the ins and outs of it. But that being said, I almost felt like the combat system was at times really stressful, and you know, and not always, but in a lot of ways it was. And so you know, I guess I didn't really like that aspect of it. Sometimes I just want to, you know, relax and beat down some baddies while I watch movies or something, you know. And I didn't really feel like that was really even an option for that game. But anyways, let's not trash talk 13.3 more than it needs to be, shall we? After all, we are playing 10. Boy, is that it? Okay, so there's a treasure chest in the background there. Now I'm wondering if I got it or not. I don't remember that one out there. Look at that one, out in the middle of nowhere. I guess we'll find out. This screen is the final, yeah, I guess final screen before home. And this is also the one where the mini game for this area is at. And I think it's referred to as the Village of the Chocobos? Or sorry, Village of the Cactars. Wow. And it's a fairly easy side quest. I don't know that I'll get into it a whole lot now. I guess there's just not much need. But yeah, it's not too bad. So these guys, what are these, Sandranoras? Look at that. So they are not immune to Wakka's TKO, and that's great because these things are super annoying. They've got a seed attack that can confuse your party members, and you know, I mentioned that in one of the other videos, but that's probably one of the most detrimental skills in the game. Or dangerous, maybe I should say, skills in the game. So, you know, it's actually really nice when that stone touch goes off. If only it would have worked on these. Power break. I don't know if that actually works on these guys or not. 65. Was he hitting for like 600? Yeah, that might work. I think that actually was effective. And then, likewise, I'm not sure if I've been using armor break on these guys or not, but that's always a good idea too. One of the things, actually, I noticed towards the end of the game was there was an enemy that I was running across where armor break wasn't working, and I don't know how many enemies are like that in the game. I shouldn't say that. It wasn't that it wasn't working, it was that it took multiple times to apply it before it actually worked. So, you know, again, I'm not sure how many enemies are like that in the game, but I guess beware. And boy, these worm fights really drag on. Holy crap. That's probably, what, a quarter of this video is going to be just sandworms? I should have cut these out. I wasn't thinking. But now it's too late. It's too late. It's not possible. It actually totally is. I'm just being lazy. So suck it. Just like that worm did. That was bad. I apologize. Hopefully this thing doesn't make me into a liar. I'm fairly certain that one of these had someone in its gullet when it died and they didn't get EXP, sorry, SP. Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm crazy. There it is. There was the one. And I overkilled that one too. That's unfortunate. Poor Waka. Oh yeah, so here's the treasure chest that I was talking about earlier. The one that's out in the middle of nowhere. Explosion times 2. Okay. Okay, if you say so. And I know there's a couple more of these sandworm things. The right side of the, I don't know, it's like a valley down there. That's the village of the cactars. And I don't believe it's accessible right now. I didn't even bother walking over there. But I think it says something like there's a sandstorm blocking your path or something like that. So essentially, they just gated it so that there's so that you can't get in right this very minute. We will obviously play. Basically, what actually it's the cactar mini game is what unlocks the sandstorm. So once we complete that, we'll be able to go down in there. And there's 2 treasure chests in there. I think one is a, well, one actually depends on your actions, I guess, in the mini game. And so it's not a static treasure chest. And then the other one contains an item to power up Riku's ultimate weapon. So like I said, we will be hitting that hard later on. We're getting really close to home. The next screen has home in it. So what I'll end up doing, I'll probably cut the commentary right after this. What is this thing? Sandragora or whatever. But here you'll get to see Seed Burst, and I'm pretty sure this confuses somebody. Yep, there you go. And I would, oops, okay. I would have, wow, and I still didn't, okay. I was, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I just said. What I was going to say was, normally I would hear confusion right away, but being that I had a couple of turns to spare, I wanted to try to get, you know, I wanted to try to apply that stone status with Waka. Unfortunately, it didn't work. But like here, being that Waka's got that TKO, you don't want him hitting your party members because he can turn them to stone. And there it is. That's the end. All right, I'm gonna cut the commentary here though. So hopefully you guys are liking these videos and join me for more. All right, thanks for watching.
Over here.
Riku!
What? Yuna's down there.
Of all the places. Let's go.
Yuna!
Kayaku! Who's attacking us? Rutet Drekdui! Kayaku? Kayaku!
A war between Yevon and the Al Bhed?
Daigek Hanuk! Wadu Kuvun Drosumadas.
Vidran!
You Riku's friends? Well, just don't stand there. Come on! Let's go kick those Guano out of our home!
Who?
Sid, leader of the Al Bhed. He's my dad.
Let's go.
Yeah. We have to save Uni.
Not only Yuna, right?
Right.